Yes, yes, yes. Bless up, people. This is Crisis, aka Blind Visionary, aka the Conduit, coming to you with another blind review. This time we're going to be talking about Wasn't Built in a Day by Rome Streetz and Big Ghost Limited. Rome Streetz on the mic, Big Ghost Limited on the beats. Now, where do I begin with this album? First and foremost, I'm supposed to be a music critic, so I have to criticize. But in the case of this particular project, what is there to criticize? Because right out the gate, as soon as it start with the Prodigy intro and then we get to business, you can tell, say, yo, Rome Streetz is what I would like to call a comfortable MC. And by that I mean he raps like how we breathe oxygen, like how we do like involuntary things without even putting a single effort or thought into it. This is how Rome Streetz raps. And as far as Big Ghost Limited's production, it is top tier of the top tier. Like, brother has been on such a run with all these projects, with all these people, and he's like the grimy lord of underground hip hop right now. So it's like you put the two of these together, and it's like a nice, awesome meal that going to give you substance, sustenance, and it tastes really, really good at the same time. Because most of the time, you know, stuff that's good for you is not that easy to swallow. But, this is an audio gourmet meal. Top tier lyricism, top tier production, and everything just, there's no bad song on it. Even the okay songs are extremely insane on this. And like, on one hand, all Rome Streetz talks about is selling drugs and basically what he's attained from selling drugs and from rapping. That's all him talk about. But the way he does it cancels out any sort of complaint about being one-dimensional, because he's so good at it, and again, comfortable in his lane. Like, he knows that's him. I mean, it don't sound disingenuous. Maybe that's all him do. At the end of the day, authenticity and bringing across that authenticity is the most important thing in hip-hop. And this brother is at the top of his game. Like, his cadence, his flow. I mean, mind you, nothing he said hasn't been said a million times before, but it hasn't been said the way he said it and over the production that he's on. And this brother, what I want to see, no pun intended, cause blind, but what I want to see in the future for this dude is him get more depth to the content. Because the lyricism, the wordplay, the verbiage, the cadence, all of that is in the place. But it's like, you go only go so far talking about what you're talking about for so long. And it's like, I believe you have potential to be in the big leagues. Like, you that good, bro. And, on one hand, you find your niche, you find your lane, you cater to your audience. But on the other hand, that audience and that lane, it has a dead end. It has a ceiling. There's only so far you can go. And I believe you're one of those people who can go way, way further beyond the realm that you're in and also maintain the respect of the realm that you're in, but then reach to a certain level. Like, you have that, and most people in the realm that you're in don't have that. They're going to be stuck there till infinity. So, I mean, I'm hoping this is like a continuous wave of like growth as an artist. Like, I'd love to hear like a concept album, or just even something with more retrospect outside of selling drugs and what the drugs has done and blah, blah, blah. I mean, anyway, but with that said, how am I going to really say anything bad about this album? Well, here goes. Let's try. And this is where we get to the individual track breakdown in the review. So we're going to start with track 1, God Speak. Right out the gate, you have an intro with Prodigy, R.I.P. Talking about, longevity and the importance of being consistent and significant. Then jumps right into the song. And I wouldn't say this is a drumless beat. This is a kickless beat, because a snare coming every now and then. And like, I'm not the hugest fan of the drumless beat style. I mean, I will tolerate it with 1 or 2 songs, but like, if it's a project where it just comes over and over again, it's like a big, to each his own. I mean, I know a lot of people like that, but that's just not my thing. But like, this is very passable, as far as, again, like I said, it has drums, it doesn't have kicks. The drums aren't there all the time, but it works. It works over the wordplay. And, there's a DJ that is on basically, let me say, about 80% of this album doing cuts, DJ Swab. And at first, I was thinking to myself, this dude is TMB 2.0. Very similar style as far as how they structure their cuts. But as I listened to the project a couple of times, I started to distinguish the difference between the two. And I saw the significance of what all these cuts for hooks contributed to the vibe and how the album was going. And, the DJ TMB 2.0 thought I had in my head kind of receded. And, Swab came into his own in my mind and was an intricate part of this awesome project. So, I can't really say what this song is about. It's just Rome Street rapping about street shit and typical MC stuff, like I said. So, that's it. Track 1. All right, so track 2, Suicide, featuring Luke Cage and Conway the Machine. Now, out the back, you have the BDP KRS sample, Suicide. It's a, everybody should know that. Well, everybody who listens to shit like this should know that. But, grimy piano beat from Big Ghost. And again, I really don't know what I'm going to say about the rhyming on any of these songs, because even though I kind of feel a different way about the different songs, all of the friggin' like lyricism is top notch. There's no, oh, okay, him do an alright verse there. Oh, okay, that verse was dope. It's like dope verse, dope verse, dope verse. Consistency straight through on the rhyme part. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then you have Conway come in and do his Conway thing. I mean, by now you know what you're getting with Conway, and like, he sounds the exact same way he did before all the fame and stuff, which is good, because it means the hunger is still there and he hasn't lost who he is despite being the fame. So big up to Conway on that. Not a dope song, and it has like a little skit at the end before it got to the third song, and I guess it's the Luke Cage dude. And I have to bring up this argument because his analogy is a fighting game / Street Fighter analogy, where him say everybody who plays Street Fighter always, first of all, this is where he messed up the first time. He says everybody who plays Street Fighter always pick Ken and Ryu. Brethren, I know all of us was guilty back in the day, but it's 2023 now, my youth. You have no excuse. The man named Ryu. Put some respect on the legend name. Anyway, his analogy was basically saying that musically, people treat music like Street Fighter, where they just choose the same thing over and over and over again when there's so much variety out there. And I understand what he was trying to say, and he was completely right. But here's the problem. You're doing it on an album where all the dude is talking about is selling drugs and street shit. So it kind of defeats the purpose of what you're saying. But Nonetheless, nice try. Anyway, moving on to track number 3, 8 Balls, featuring Swab on the cuts once again. Not a dope, moody, eerie beat from Mr. Big Ghost Limited with top tier rhymes again. Yeah, like, get used to me saying that because that has been the case and will be the case through the entire project. There's just one issue I have with this song and with this beat. And, maybe it's because like I'm blind and I have super sensitive ears, but like the bicycle bell in the beat kind of took away from it for me. Other than that, I don't have a problem with it. Cool. Anyway, track numero 4, Gem Drop featuring Swab. Like, first time I hear it say Gem Drop, I said, okay, it's probably going to be paying homage to the OG song, Mobb Deep, Drop a Gem on them. Then the song starts, and I'm like, wait, don't tell me Big Ghost is going to actually just play over the OG Drop a Gem on them beat, and it's going to be the same piano loop because it literally starts exactly how the Mobb Deep song starts. I mean, Rome even says once again. So it throws you off for about 10 seconds. But then it changes, and okay, he took another part of the sample and flipped it in his own way, and I'm like, okay, cool. Sigh of relief, because I think they were trolling with that, or that's my opinion. But very, very, very solid song. I mean, hip hop is notorious for having grimy piano beats, and if it's done right, it's great. And this is a particular case. And DJ Swab on the cuts again. And you know what you get in here. You're going through your quality meal. Every bite is primo, and you're enjoying yourself. So then now we get to track 5, P's and Q's, featuring Method Man, with my favorite beat on the album. Not a piano beat, but it's just raw, like the gull near my house. Just raw. Anybody who likes rapping and really dope beats together, this is like the pinnacle of that with 2 MCs. And Method Man continues on the ridiculous run that he has been on for the last couple of years, which kind of shows you so-called young people who talk about, you're old and you wash up and whatever. This brother sound like him is 15 and him in him prime and him hungry and him do have millions and millions of records sold and all the accolades him have, and that is a breath of fresh air. And this is my favorite song on the album, but it's hard to have a favorite song when all the songs are dope, but this is my favorite of all the good songs on the album, if I can say that. So yeah, moving on to track 6, Royal Flush, featuring Swab and Lukey Cage again. Let's see if I'm gonna get the intro thing right this time. This is like a harpish type of beat that sounds like something Alchemist would have done earlier in his career, or RZA would have done later in his career when he was in his prime. And again, same thing here, top tier bars, talking about what he was talking about from the beginning of the album, and dope chorus from DJ Swab. Like, it works. Like, you might be thinking to yourself when you see the track listing, why the hell is this DJ Swab brother on every single song? But if you hear it, you'll understand why. And I mean, he chose the right samples to cut and it works. But anyway, on to what I was saying about Mr. Lukey Cage and his interlude. Unlike the first Street Fighter interlude, he's completely on point with this one, because he's basically talking about, when you work with people and they send you a verse and it's subpar, he's like, when you go to a restaurant and you know what you want and it's your favorite thing, and the waiter comes and give you some foolishness, you're like, yo, what you do with this, my youth? I want the real thing, and you send it back, and you kind of, that basically was a good analogy. So he redeemed himself. So big up to you, Mr. Luke Cage. You don't know, whoever the hell you are. Cool little interlude. All right, so track number 7 now. Have mercy on me, because I cannot actually pronounce this word that's in this song. So I went butcher it. So apologies ahead of time. Lobsters and shortage, or shorty, I don't freaking know. But what I do know is it is a very, same realm, but I think this song probably has the most exotic feel out of all the songs. Grimy street exoticness, if that's such a thing. I mean, like, yeah, there is like West Side Gun, but like this is even more grimy than that, because, West Side Gun is more fly at the times when he does his exotic shit, but like this is straight grime and pretty, top tier stuff as expected. Like I said, this is an ongoing trend through the entire album. There are 11 songs and 7 songs in, and ain't a damn thing changed. So again, it's hard to be a critic, but I'm doing just do and just completely being honest. Like, this is some firework. 8 dope stamps featuring Swab on the cuts again, doing his thing. And it's basically talking about, you can say literally drug dealing and the whole thing of how, dealers who have them products certified and put them name or them face on the stamp, or you can take it metaphorically as music. Music is dope. I'm selling the dope, put him name on the stamp. This is his product. If you want a particular thing, you go to him, you're gonna get that standard. So yeah, that I think is what this song is about. Could be wrong, but that's what I took away from it. So moving on, Majesty featuring, once again, Swab on the cuts for the hook. And this is just some, as the song title suggests, kiss the ring, I am royalty in this hip hop thing. I am at the point where you better respect me and fall in line and know your role, because, well, yeah, praise your majesty. Big Ghost Limited does not have one even subpar beat on this album. If you guys have never heard this producer before, like, go dig into his catalog, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. Like, this brother is just audio fentanyl and then some. Like, only thing is, it don't kill him. It kill you with a vibe, but you don't actually die. So yeah, big up to that. Then now we'll move on to track 10, Antidote, featuring Plex Diamonds and Swab on the cut. Now, out the gate, I hear the man them scratching what sound like a Buju Banton song. It's either Buju Banton or somebody who sounds just like Buju Banton saying something, man, him say Antidote, and that's dope. Kind of change of pace from the normal scratching, but then it went back into the normal scratching, and I was like, yeah, all right, cool. Beat is fire as usual. Rome Street did his thing as usual, and Mr. Diamonds, he did his thing. The minimal features on this all held their own and didn't take away from the level of top tier lyricism that has been on display from start to finish. And as we get down to the final stretch, we have track 10. Actually, damn, okay, I made a mistake. We're at the end of the damn road. You see, this is what happens when you don't want something to finish. You actually get ahead of yourself. You think that there's more to go, but no. Technically, the album actually ends with Antidote. It's 10 songs, but the 11th song is You Mad Huh, featuring China Streetz, and that's Rome Street's wifey for people who don't know. And I guess it's a bonus solo track from her, with a dope beat from Mr. BGL. And she just basically is like, she reminds me of Armani Caesar. but she has her own identity. But she's kind of that kind of same old lane where you have a female MC rapping over a grimy beat. So yeah, it's a nice little. I see this as like, okay, if this album was a nice Sunday, that's like the cherry on top. It complements the actual Sunday and gives it the little flair that it needs to have outside of the other ingredients that are the main foundation of the Sunday. So, okay, with that said, you know, I come to my final summary about this album. You know, a lot of weird shit going on in New York right now as far as the sound. And a lot of people have echoed the sentiment that they miss the fact that New York doesn't sound like New York anymore. And to a certain extent, they're kind of telling the truth, but at the same time, also, there are still elements of New York that carrying that torch, that bringing that back. Like, you know, the album Four Finger Ring from Bad Seed. No, Four Finger Ring, no. Something Greater Than Myself from Bad Seed that I reviewed the other day. That's a prime example. Four Finger Ring is a prime example too. And like, there's all this, I mean, there's the Griselda dude, then there's like this whole plethora of artists that are bringing the essence of what New York is, both past and present. And I'm grateful for that. And I kind of don't understand when people say there's a shortage of music or whatever. It's like, nah, bro, you're just not looking and you're just not listening. Don't make a blind man can see things better than you, my youth. Music is out there, and there's more than, there's a smorgasbord. Yes, there is a bunch of, you know, stuff that doesn't appeal to us, but we don't have to listen to it. We have all this stuff from all the names I just mentioned to listen to. So, Big Ghost Limited, Rome Streetz, big up to the both of you for this borderline flawless project. You know, as someone who has been in this for decades as a fan, it's good to know that in the year 2023, when hip hop is supposed to be quote unquote dead and watered down, we can get stuff like this. So yeah, I highly to the heavens recommend you go check out this album. You know, Wasn't Built in a Day by Rome Streetz and Big Ghost Limited. Dope album. Done know. I have spoken.
Stop recording video.